1, 2, 3 in the place to be. It's me, Mr. Kahari, live and direct from Houston, Texas. Thank you for tuning into this video. And today, I want to help my audience understand the differences between retail, editorial, and commercial photography. So first up the bat is retail photography. Now this is a field of photography or style of photography that's associated with capturing images for personal use, like portraits, family portraits, weddings, and special occasion parties. Retail photographers, they aim at creating beautiful moments and memories that draw emotion that'll last a lifetime. They usually work close with the clients, ensuring that every detail reflects the client's individual personalities or the essence of that event, said event that they have. Retail photographers provide their clients with a limited license. Now with this limited license, the images are usually for personal use. So this includes printing and displaying on social media, sharing it with the family or with their friends. However, the copyright and the commercial rights generally remain with the photographer. If that photographer took these images and it's the best retail images he ever took and you signed the paperwork, they could technically use those, as advertising for themselves. You walk in their studio, boom, look, there's your portrait on the wall. It's usually an honor. It's nothing really nefarious done with that. It's usually something of beauty, right? But I wanted to highlight the intent. The second subject I want to talk about today was editorial photography. It's a captivating field that tells a story through images. So a photographer, this is like some of my favorite work to do. It's like going somewhere and you're telling a story for a specific intent, for specific use. You already know where this is being delivered. Editorial photographers usually work for magazines, publications, or online publications, newspapers. For example, for me, one of my favorite all-time stories were like a Sports Illustrated. I can't remember the exact one, but it was featured with Hakeem Olajuwon. And ironically, it was shot by my favorite photographer now, Joe McNally. And what you got was a glimpse of Hakeem Olajuwon, not just the basketball player, but the man, the Muslim, how he celebrates his religion, how he fasts. And Mr. Joe McNally was able to capture that through these images and placed in his magazine. Now, the intent with like editorial photography is to evoke emotions, to spark conversations, or inform the audience, like the story I just said. Editorial photographers often have the creative freedom, but must adhere to the publication's style and their guidelines, wide or sometimes portrait. That comes from the top down. They say, hey, we need these style of photos, but you go handle it, right? Events, right? For a nonprofit organization, I consider this more editorial because it's usually a conference that takes place on the weekend and you snap a bunch of photos and then that goes out either on the conference website or the conference social media so people could say, hey, I was there, or something that just eventually goes away. For the rights, editorial photographers usually grant their work for one-time use. So this means that the photos are specifically used for that issue or for that article, but may not be used for other purposes without the photographer's permission. With editorial photographies, there's usually an assignment rate. Who knows what that price is? It's just like one fixed fee, and usually the two parties decide, give an average of what's going to be presented as far as images, final cut, number, and then boom, it's sent out to the client for them to use. Last but not least, we have commercial photography. Commercial photography is a vibrant realm where creativity meets marketing. Commercial photographers usually work for a business, for brand, small brand, advertising agencies, and they usually create visually compelling content that sells products or services. The intent here is clear. We are making these images to drive sales or promote the brand, one or the other. These photographers collaborate closely with art directors and marketing teams or whatever teams they have, so they can make sure that the images align with their vision and with their brand's message. That's why that collaborative effort comes in there. The commercial photographers typically provide their clients with a specific usage rights or licensing for a designated time and purpose. Right? You can use these images for this amount of time, but once this 1 year or 2 years is up, that's it. The images are done, or you can renegotiate what they call your license, right? In that time, that license allows them to involve many different ways and usages of it, right? So a license might give them the ability to print an image, to use it for digital advertisements or other marketing materials. However, the copyright often remains with the photographer unless specifically transferred or negotiated. Unless they sit at the table, they say, hey, let's talk about XYZ, and you get the rights or I get the rights. Other than that, that's how commercial photography works. Usually a photographer is paid a day rate of his creative fee. Then all the expenses are billed to the company or the client, because you have a team full of people that are collaborating. And then sometimes they might want it at a park. Sometimes they might need permits. Sometimes it requires the photographer to drive or stay the night or fly out. They got to eat. So it's a lot of expenses that are billed directly to the customer or the client, Also with that, there is rental charges, renting cameras, renting lenses, renting lights, whatever it takes to make this visual dream come true. Now you have small scales, you got large scales. On the small scale, like for a doctor's office that I usually do, that I would usually be involved in, I charge a modest day rate. I give them a rental charge, because I got to get lights and lenses specifically on what's done. And then we go to a doctor's office and we make lifestyle type of images, take some headshot type of images. So at the end, I'm here with a gallery of images and a gallery of like just all types of stuff, from headshots to pencils writing to apples on the table to whatever it takes for this doctor's office to have this nice branded images. And they get to see the entire gallery of images that I have there. And then from there, we usually discuss what image will work best for their brand and what could they use each image for. So then when each image is decided upon, we pick a license for it. You purchase a license for it. And usually it's 1 year, 2 years, it's negotiable between the photographer and the client, but it's for that specific thing. So they might use some for a flyer, one for a book, one for a poster, who knows what it is. There you have it. I gave you the differences between retail, editorial, and commercial photography. Each has its own unique purpose, intent, and rights associated with the photographs. Whether it's capturing cherished moments for families, or you're telling a compelling story through editorial images, or driving business success with commercial images. Photography still remains to be the most powerful medium of expression. I hope you like what I gave to you, and thank you once again for listening to me. I'm Kahari Dixon. See you when I see you. Peace.